Bum 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 bum. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. All right, everyone, give me a check. I don't think I need to do anything. I think we're good. Are we good? I think we're good. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, we're good. I think we're good, boys. Let me go to my live manager real quick, but I think we're solid. Yeah. Well, that's weird. They changed the whole YouTube like setup. That's cool. Super. Hope everyone's doing well. Yeah. ¿Dónde estás? ¿Dónde estás, mis amigos? Hope everyone's doing well. Really, that's the question you want to ask JEFE. What's the question? Where will the SPY be at the end of the year? He said, where is the SPY going to be in 345 days? I'm dying to know. I am dying to know. Give me a sec, guys. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, you know what? Didn't make a video for freaking Twitter. We gotta make a quick update for Twitter. What stock should we cover for Twitter, boys and girls? What stock should be the Twitter update today? Honestly, the action day is pretty mid, pretty terrible. Like, I mean, just not getting the continuation here. Like, I mean, you're getting the upside on NQ, but like, I'm not really in love with the action you're getting here on NASDAQ, to be totally honest. It's moving great, don't get me wrong, like it's moving up, but like the fact that Nvidia like is Nvidia, honestly, if Nvidia didn't get the news today around China and having to pause shipments or new orders for H200s, like you'd be moving it. I think you'd be at 193 probably, maybe breaking into 195. Like, go look at your volume you had today on Nvidia, like early on. This is what I was really looking at. So like the first hour, and this usually doesn't happen. Like, okay, so like let's use the pre-Tuesday as an example, okay? So Tuesday, going into volume that you can see here, let me make sure everything looks good for you guys too. Yeah, okay. So you go into Tuesday here, you can see like market open is right here, like literally like right here, okay? It's pretty high. You know, first 30 minutes, yeah, and then it kind of dies down, right? And go to the next day, right? For market open, kind of dies down. Like, traditionally speaking, you don't like see super high like market open volume for like a while. Well, today market volume was pretty damn great. Like, to be totally honest, like you stayed pretty consistent. Yeah, you dipped, don't get me wrong, but it was spiking back up, right? And it was pretty consistent for like a whole hour after market started. And then the news comes out around the China chips and stuff like that, and you just pull back and volume literally dies here. So, and then from there, now you're just sitting between VWAP and that level there. And it's just like, what are we doing? Like, what is this action? You know what I mean? Like, well, what am I looking at? So, a little annoying, but where we're at right now in the day. Never caught me live. I don't know. I've been like thinking about how I'm gonna like go about the YouTube channel. You know, I made this pretty clear. Like, and I had to like really like think about stuff after like after Thanksgiving break when I got the flag or whatever. It's just like, you know, what am I spending my time on? Like, number one, and like, where's the best opportunities for me? And like, really too, like, what do I enjoy doing? And like, I don't make really any money off of YouTube at all. You know, I try to like make it where I don't have to, I obviously have paid content, but like, I try to make it to the point of like where like you can get a lot of good information and like an edge if you just watch and pay attention to the free content. But I just haven't really enjoyed YouTube. Now, it's just a lot of work. It's a lot of time. Even if I make a quick video, it's a lot of time. Whereas Twitter, I'm able to like knock out a quick video, post it, be done. You know what I mean? Twitter's, I mean, I'm getting more engagement. Everything's just kind of better on Twitter right now, so we'll see. But at this rate, I think Twitter could potentially, like in 2026, become my main focus over YouTube. I can post significantly less on Twitter. It's just like takes less time. I can have a better communication experience with you guys. There's bots on Twitter too, but the big thing about like Twitter is like it's just I think it's better managed too to a certain extent. But yeah, I don't know. That's just kind of where we're at now. So I would make sure people. That's why I tell people like follow on Twitter. You're gonna get more information there. But yeah, I don't know. How does the stream quality look? How does the camera quality look? Twitter doesn't pay well though. I don't make any money as it is, so I don't really care from social media. Like I think I make like $1,000 a month off of YouTube. Cool, like super. I'd rather be like happier, enjoy what I'm doing more, you know. But so, anyways, let's get back to it. It's funny. I've literally been sitting here waiting on Nasdaq to dip because I'm not really like. I don't really like this move, to be brutally honest right now. Yeah, Dow's dipping back down. Yeah, that's what you kind of expected to see here, but this is annoying. It's taking forever, but whatever, I guess. We'll see if you lose 25.97, come back down 25.95. So you're looking for back down here. We'll see. Literally just waiting on this dip. And I was like, you know what? We're not getting it. I'll just go live. But yeah, so if you have any questions, make sure you're asking while we're here. I'll try to answer all the questions to the best of my ability. And yeah, probably go over stocks. But I don't know. Kind of like, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with YouTube. I always ask you guys stuff, but you guys don't really help me out as far as like answering questions and stuff. So. Dun 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 dun. But yeah, so yeah, the big concern for me has been Nvidia. I've kind of just been waiting for this to dip all day. I think AMD is gonna get a hit too. I think AMD, if it loses 209.4, it's an easy short down to 207 low of day, and then down to the 100 MA. Been waiting on Apple too. Apple's getting a little bit of a bounce, but I think Apple's gonna come down to 260.2. It's a lot of big pullbacks right now. It's funny, last night's video I talked about Microsoft. Jordan's been killing it with Microsoft, but again, like he came back down to this 468 level once again, like 3-4 tests this already. Again, previous all-time high. It looks basically identical to Apple's chart, so I'd be watching that as well. Microsoft's one of the few names we got leaps on as well. So Microsoft remounts like 492, 493. I think you're going to run to 502, over 502 back to 525, 518. It's going to be pretty clean too. So yeah. So. AVGO. I think AVGO is fine. I think it's just like chilling here, to be honest. Keep bouncing near like 330, 328 down here. It's clean. It's nice. Your big level is 100 MA. It's not the cleanest action, but what I will say, what you're seeing from semis is the name. It's more like the manufacturing side of semis that are doing better, and not your big boys as far as like Nvidia, AVGO, and even AMD. Like those names are getting kind of hit. So yeah, the other names that are doing really well, obviously Micron because there's memory shortage. ASML's killing it, doing really well. LRCX killing it. TSM, doing really well. Pulling back here on the day, but yeah. TSM back into 310, 309 could be pretty tough. Any analysis? I already answered that. Coin. I don't really care about Coinbase or crypto right now, to be honest. If anything, Beam and R, high risk, high reward, do what you gotta do. But yeah, like I don't think there's any analysis doing Coinbase right here. You're below, 2024 highs basically. So, well, no, this is like March, April 2024. So. Big level, just sitting below it, like not doing anything. Yeah, you're kind of gambling. Crypto market looks like shit too, in my opinion. Go to Bitcoin. Yeah, nothing looks good here on Bitcoin. Definitely an area of the market that I think it looks weaker than everything else. So if you like crypto, you believe in it, go long, do what you gotta do, but it's not really for me. Like if I was going to go long in anything pertaining to crypto or like that had exposure, it'd probably be like Robinhood right now. Maybe stock on BMNR if you wanted that. But again, I think very high risk, but it is really high reward. So definitely the way to look at that. Go to QQQ. Let's look here. Yeah, QQQ kind of just stalling out here. But like I said on the daily, I posted this on Twitter too. You know, pretty clean. Like trying to get the breakout right now. It's not bad at all. It's pretty. It's what you want to see. You know what I mean? Amazon. Yeah, Amazon. We talked about this a lot. Again, once you broke above 232.8. If you don't follow on Twitter, again, it's your own doing. I don't know what else to tell you. Yeah, I go to Twitter, go to media. Actually, I'm probably going to make a video on Amazon on Twitter because it's killing it. Yeah, Amazon posted here. Yeah, 232, spot on. Top of the break there, pushing it at 239, then 242.6, and then breaking out to all-time highs. Back in all-time highs, so yeah. Been covering it in detail. There's so much shit on Twitter. It's like been nonstop. Can't complain, though. Meta's not really doing shit. Meta's in a pretty big range too. You gotta go to like the 15 minutes to see. But yeah, I mean, the rejection at the 200 SMA has been one of the easiest trades on repeat. Kind of stuck below 660. You know, it is what it is. Level here too, around 654 kind of developed. You're rejecting at too. So can't really do much. Low of the range is like 640, 638. You lose that, you're really bearish. So yeah, it's holding where it needs to, but not really getting continuation. Nothing crazy there. Excuse me. I don't have anything to do with Joby or Archer. Yeah, I don't know anything about this. If you like them though, go long. I don't know. Nothing really to do with those names. You can hear Miles going AWOL. Sounds like he's about to take a nap. To the slammer you go, Miles. When did you get this drop? That was a few minutes ago. It would have dropped down to 25.96. So annoying. Yeah. I also say this is another big thing too for me. Like when it comes to trading, like my days that like I try to trade the least amount, or just the days that are my worst performing days, I can tell you, and I tell Discord this all the time, is whenever NASDAQ is trending in a direction, and like I would say NASDAQ is trending to the upside here on the day, but like Nvidia is just not cooperating. Like Nvidia's, in my opinion, weak here. So yeah, like these are the worst days for me because like, in my opinion, I think you're gonna get a dip on NQ. Personally, I think it's just gonna happen, but you're just not in line, so it's tough. Rivian, I think Rivian's a pretty like dog shit long-term stock to own. I mean, it's doing well though, so cool. But yeah, it's a car company, so like, yeah, I think like if you own like Rivian, like you're going into the mentality of like this stock could just crash back down at any point in time because it's a dog shit car company. Like, you know what I mean? Like go look at Ford. Like this is the best visual. Like just go turn off indicators real quick. Turn view up off so you can see. Go to the daily. Let's go to the monthly. Okay, go to the monthly. You zoom out. Yeah, Ford. You've been operating basically in a range. You're at the same level as 1996 here on Ford, so that's cool. GM. You're finally getting some. You know, this is a little bit better of a chart, but you basically sat in a range from 2011, and you kind of retested that range here in February of 2025 into April. So now you're popping off. So that's cool. Took you a while, I guess. So, yeah, I don't know. Like Tesla doesn't really get a lot of love because of its cars. It's not because of its cars and why it goes up or the upside there. So if that's for you, man, go for it. But I don't really know. You have to like, you can like sell me like your fundamental reason for going long, but for me, it just doesn't make too much sense. 4 years buy if you want to collect a good dividend. Well, if that's what you want to do, go for it. That doesn't really fit how I look to buy or invest personally, but best of luck. Nebius can't break through 100. It's because it's a key level. Nebius is chilling. Yeah, go to the daily chart, zoom out. I always encourage people to zoom out. All you gotta do is mark out your key levels. Mark out your key level here, 100.5. clearly is rejecting here on the higher time frame. So again, that's your level to mount, just like 87 was here, $76 down here. So you mount that, you look good for the upside. But again, I bought stock on Nebius, VRT, GEV. So those are longer term plays for me. I'm not really concerned about the next month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. Again, I bought stock. So when I buy stock, I'm looking to like actually like hold the name to let it run. I'm not worried about short term, PA. If it was going straight down, I'd be concerned or something maybe. But yeah, honestly, I'd prefer for it to dip so I could buy more at better prices. I don't just simply saying why someone would buy. I'm a day trader. I'm just answering the question to Rivian. So just showing an example. I think it's important to look at, similar types of stocks and understand how they move. I think Rivian, I think comparing to Ford's even a stretch because Ford's a long-term great company, but yeah. MBS is trash. Okay. Pharmacist, you literally just said you're going to buy Rivian. I'm just saying, like, what are you talking about? Go outside, stare at the sun, brother. I have no idea what you're talking about. It's like, yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy talk. That's like saying, like, Flo Rida is the best rapper of all time and then telling me that I say, no, I think Kanye is the best of all time. Like, Kanye's trash. I'm like, bitch, you just said Flo Rida is the best rapper of all time. Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? So, yeah, that's a crazy statement. Best of luck, though, brother. Best of luck. Maybe Rivian will get like another deal with Amazon to give them some more EVs and make 40 vehicles next year again. So that'd be cool. Anyways, yeah. CrowdStrike got a lot of love. Shout out to Donnie in Discord. Donnie was hammering about CrowdStrike. Remounting the 100 MA was huge, in my opinion. Or the 200 MA down here, back above 462. This was also a pretty nice setup on the daily. Came back into your previous all-time high from February. Look at that clean touch. Get underneath it. Basically spent 3 days down here, held, got back over, and then straight into your 100 MA. Get over 491, you're probably looking back to 517, 520. I will say, don't look bad at all. Yeah, like Nvidia just like cannot make up its mind. It's pretty depressing to watch. Because if Nvidia was getting any love at all, like Nasdaq it'd be moving way better. Be a much better breakout. Said NBIS is legit. I do your own research as always, guys. I just talk about stocks that I like. You know what I mean? That's all I do. Like you make your own, make your own decisions, own choices. Duolingo thoughts. Donnie loves it. I've never really researched Duolingo, to be honest. I think they're getting hammered, obviously. There's no real sign of buyers stepping back into the market. That's another kind of concern. I think if you can reclaim your previous high back here from like IPO, September 2021, I think you get above that. I think you're fine. 205, 206. I think you look good back to the upside. It's just right now, like you're obviously breaking, retesting, and shooting back down. Like there's no sign that buyers are back in the market here of Duolingo for me. So yeah. Thoughts on SanDisk? Anything to do with memory is getting like, I'm pretty sure that's why they're getting so much love. But yeah, like there's nothing really to say. Like if a name runs like this, I can't do nothing with it, Best of luck. Tough, missed out, I guess. But yeah, it's just going straight up. This is a weekly chart. Go to the 2 hour. It's even tougher. So yeah, maybe the break above 283 was the move, but yeah. I'm learning Vietnamese and didn't like Duolingo. I use YouTube and Google to translate. I have no idea. I don't want to learn any other languages, so their business model doesn't really appeal to me. But fundamentally, it's probably like grossly undervalued right now, and you won't really like you're not gonna like see the results on Duolingo as far as like getting a bounce until you get earnings, like because that's the concern with Duolingo. It's like, okay, there's all this new competition for the stock. Apple's AirPods, et cetera, this and that, it's going to kill the business. Well, the only thing that's going to resolve those issues and concerns is coming out with earnings and showing guidance and showing that, oh, look, hey, our business model's still fine. We're still making a lot of money. We're fine. You know what I mean? That's the only thing that's going to save it. Thoughts on this trash? Tempest AI. Tempest AI, I think it's a great company. Again, revenue is steadily going up. Not saying they're super profitable as a company by any means. They're not. but revenue scaling pretty dramatically. Again, above the 200 SMA, I still think is awesome. Again, initial buy was down here like 67, 68, ran towards like 79. I didn't buy any more in the dip. Probably could have, but yeah, you get above like 100 MA, 78, you look good. Yeah, pharmacist. Yeah, you might just be like, yeah, something might be wrong with your brain. I gotta mute you because you're just like, yeah, pharmacist is like, pharmacist literally buys dog shit companies and then like calls the companies that we like dog shit. So I don't really know. Like obviously this isn't really the place for you. You know what I mean? So it's okay. Best of luck, brother. I'm just going to hide you on the channel so I don't have to look at your face anymore. It's giving me a fucking migraine. So best of luck, man. Salute. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm just saying, guys, if you're like investing into a bunch of do have your own opinion, you know, do your own research as always. Like, you know, no one is going to care if you lose money, like just being honest. But like, I'm just saying, like, if you're like investing in a bunch of companies that are like not like, for instance, making any vehicles or increasing sales or have any growth, and then you're calling the companies with growth bad. I mean, do what you gotta do, but this might not be the place for you. Like the fuck, like that's crazy. Yeah, getting that pullback here on NQ, like we talked about, pretty nice. Slow but it's just so slow. Like the action, like. If you look here on the one, like it looks like you're moving, but you're just moving so slow. Like, oh, dude, it's so slow. Especially like when you start breaking. Like, again, we'll see. If you get back below 25.95 on NQ, you're probably pulling back. Probably pulling it back a little more aggressively. His trashy comments are a reflection. It doesn't faze me. I don't care. I'm just chilling. You know what I mean? What about Halliburton? I like your comments. Actually, right now, Halliburton's SLB, probably decent opportunities. It's funny because you're lower than you were before the Venezuela. Like, I know you're not. You're right there right now. SLB and Halliburton are still pretty clean, but energy names are taking a pretty big, like, not pretty big, but a little bit of a dip, right? But yeah, Halliburton, I mean, if you like it, I mean, as long as it's above 28, 27, I think you're fine, to be totally honest. I think you're totally fine. But I also think that, like, I think some people expected, like, okay, like we just invaded Venezuela, you know, these companies are gonna start producing oil, taking the stuff, and it's money printer immediately. Like, probably not how it's gonna work. Spoiler alert. It's more of like just like over the next 6-7 months, in my opinion. I think it's gonna be fast what we do in Venezuela, but it's not gonna be like 24 hours, like setting up shop. But yeah, SLB seems to be doing better, I will say. You do have a little bit of like resistance here. If you zoom out, you have to go to high time frames. I think SLB is more interesting personally. You start holding above like 44, 45. I think you like seriously have room into like 56, $60 maybe. But yeah. And then as far as energy names, I think Chevron's going to end up being the big winner in Venezuela. I could be wrong. We'll see. Exxon too. So that's what I look at. How much higher do you think on SPY? Well, it's at all-time highs, so price discovery, brother. Yeah. Everything that I do is based off of like levels and reactions, and spoiler alert, as you're in all-time highs, you're not going to really get like a reaction from buyers because there's no levels for me to look at. So yeah, just price discovery. Set stops, trail stops, do what you got to do, man. Buy zones on Path and Hood, dude, but Path is literally doing so good. So I made a video on this the other day too. Yeah, you didn't even come back and fill the gap. You just came back in that previous high from December. Look how clean that 2024, $16. Look at that test, man. Beautiful. Bouncing back up. I don't know if you're going to get a dip here on Path, to be totally honest. It looks really good. Go to the daily chart too. The daily chart's really impressive, trying to break out of here. Yeah, it's a pretty solid chart. But again, it'd only be a stock play, if anything. Hood, I don't know if Hood's going to get the test either. I'm being patient for the 200 SMA. We'll see. I do think Hood's in a position of like you're not necessarily like. I think Hood, you're going in with risk. Like that's a very important thing to think about. Like with Hood, Robinhood, is I don't think you're like in a position to where you're going to buy Hood and you're going to just be totally fine and safe. If that makes sense. I think there's risk associated with it. However, that being said, I like Robinhood a lot. I think CEOs, like you have a handful of CEOs that are like really good. And and just specifically with their company. And I think Vlad is one of those CEOs that is really good with Robinhood, to be totally honest. I think that he gets it. He knows what the goal is. And the goal is getting customers on the platform and then getting them to spend more money on the platform. It's not really a traditional broker. It's not SoFi. It's not a name like, Interactive Brokers or, Futu. It's not. It's a total different name. And I think people try to put it in that category and then they just don't know what they're talking about. So that's the difference with Robinhood, in my opinion. But I think Vlad's a really good CEO. It's also interesting what's happening with Kalshi and Polymarket. We talked a lot about them. I think Kalshi's, do I have it on here? I don't even know. Go to my whiteboard. Oh shit, my drawing. Oh no. Don't judge me. Don't judge my drawing. Don't judge my drawing. Where's it at? It's not in here. No. Anyways, but Kalshi got value. I mean, I've talked about it a lot on the channel, right? I didn't see someone sent a donation for. I'll go over it. 1 sec. I'll go over your question in a sec. Wasn't ignoring you. I was just ranting. Sorry. I got you, super. I wasn't ignoring you, but yeah. So Kalshi basically got valued at like $11 billion, and Robinhood released their numbers for December with prediction markets. And another thing that is important to think about is I think it's likely that Kalshi or Polymarket implode. There's a chance that they really do. And the thing to think about, in my opinion, with that is, they're already having some, people are already talking about Venezuela getting invaded and other stuff and other contracts getting voided. And, I think Robinhood has, they haven't really had this. Only scandal that Robinhood had was Robinhood took the buy button away. But I mean, in reality, every other broker took the buy button away. Robinhood just took shit for it, which is hilarious. But yeah. Anyways, so he said better buy Netflix, UNH, Baba, or Rubrik. I'm not going to tell you what to buy no matter what. So just understand that. I'll just go through these names. Rubrik. I've never even looked at Rubrik. So yeah. Rubrik is sitting near high. Looks fine. I don't really know anything about it, but yeah, it looks fine. If it holds above 79, 80 bucks here, like 79.9, 80 bucks right there, I think it look really good above the 200 SMA. Looks really good if it holds that. Your next name, UNH. I think UNH is fine long term. It's just you are gonna face a lot of back and forth on UNH because Donald Trump, and so if you don't know, basically the government shutdowns and the votes that happen for that are all due to healthcare. That's the main thing that everyone's fighting on is subsidies and things along those lines. So UNH is gonna be volatile. I think it's a good long term name. I have none of it right now, but yeah, above the 200 SMA especially, I think it's really good. Undervalued. Think you'll be fine in 2 years. Could be wrong, but yeah. Netflix probably going to be one of the better plays in the long term. I think Netflix is a great long-term play. I think best buying opportunities to be down near 84, 82. You might get lower than that, but I think Netflix is going to be fine. I think what they're doing with Warner Brothers is going to be awesome. I think they're undervalued with what they're doing with sports. Yeah, I like Netflix a lot. Definitely getting hammered here, so yeah. And then Baba, a lot of hype on Baba. I don't know enough about what they're doing with semiconductors and shit, but someone in Discord was asking me literally yesterday, should they buy Baba or maybe Monday? And I was like, I'd be careful below the 100 MA. You're rejecting there clearly. You're rejected. Next levels, I have nothing to 138, 139, and the 200 SMA at 137.7. So I'd be careful there. So yeah, out of all those names, I would say Netflix and UNH are probably my favorite. But I will say, if the market gets hit, Netflix is probably people need to understand that you're trying to buy something at all time highs, and I think people think that it's sometimes a binary answer of will this stock go up, yes or no by itself, and that's generally not really how the market works, So if the Nasdaq dips, I think all those names probably dip if the market pulls back. So yeah, but. Yeah, Netflix and UNH are probably the best names there. I don't know. I just don't know enough about Rubrik, so I'm sorry. It might be a fundamentally great company. You think now could be a good time to start position on Path? Was waiting. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, man. You're buying it high, so it's just in my opinion, if you're buying it here, are you okay holding and being down? This is how I'd view it. Are you okay being down to $13? That's your drawdown. What is that Give or take that 25%. Is that more than 25%? No, it's like 35%, I think. I could be wrong. Yeah, like 35. It's like $44.50. It's about 35%. So are you okay getting down 35% on stock? That's your choice. Like that's the mentality there. You know what I mean? Or maybe cutting it if you get below 5.9 and look to buy more if you dip. I don't know. That's how you have to look at it for me. I think it's a good long-term name. It's just, like I said, people have to be aware. And it's what I've been saying in the video. Like, you have things coming up which could be an issue. Like, you know what I mean? And so any name that I'm buying as far as leaps, or if I'm buying stock, I've mentally come to terms with, okay, if you dip, you dip. You know, everyone was trolling me, for instance, on Nebius, when Nebius dipped down to 75, 76. And I was like, I mean, that's just another buy level for me, but whatever. But now no one's trying to troll me when Nebius is back at $100 and I'm, heavily green, So it's like being okay with that, and like, and understanding where your targets are, where your buy zones are, so you're not surprised. That's my big thing. So, I never want to tell someone, hey, this is a great time to do this or this, because, your mentality might not be the same as mine. And you might not like mentally even think that, hey, a dip down to 76 is even a possibility on Nebius, but totally is. So, yeah. Yeah, trying to flip this level here. You got Apple back down. Like I said, Apple looks like, I'm telling you, Apple down to 260 is pretty likely. Tell you right now. Shit's ass. Look at that increased selling too on the 5. That's on 5 minutes. That's the funny part. So yeah, increased selling, trying to find buying, but ass cheeks. Yeah, it's awesome. What do you think about PG? Was that Procter & Gamble, right? Probably fine long term. You're not gonna go nowhere. Yeah, kind of just been on the downturn. I mean, your big buying opportunities down here, for sure. What is that, COVID highs? Pre-COVID highs, yeah. Pre-COVID highs are down there at 128. Yeah, I'd probably just like set orders and just stagger in. Do what you gotta do, Do what you gotta do. Doesn't look bad. Yeah, so NASDAQ, I want to watch NASDAQ here because you're trying to hold this right now. So you got everything's at support. You got Dow back down at 49.46. Again, if you don't know, that's your previous high from like 2 days ago right there. What's that? Yeah, Monday. Previous high from Monday. You're flipping it. You flip that, you're going to get hit. You're going to get hit, boys. We'll see. ES as well, coming back down to 69.86. Big level there. Let's bring VWAP back up too. Sorry, it makes the chart look ugly when I go to high time frames. Yeah, you flip this, pretty ugly too. Did I miss any other questions? Sorry, not trying to miss anything. Palantir. Sorry, I wasn't ignoring you. Palantir's fine. It's one of the names I mentioned in Discord. I didn't go long on it, so I didn't post it. But I was mentioning it in voice chat in Discord today. If you go like to the 15 minute or 5 minute, you can really see. So you get this really clean. This is from yesterday, like 9 o'clock. You break, retest the 100 MA, and then this morning you dip back down into the zone and immediately buy back up, right up, basically off of open. It was a good setup. We had room back into 189. I mean, you got to 187. It's a win all in itself. So pretty clutch. Palantir's been nice, but 189 is resistance. You get above 189, you look pretty good. Pan W, crowd thoughts. Crowd looks better. It's well above the 200 SMA. Really good mount push. Pan W, I don't really know what's going on. I don't know why Pan W got hit so hard, to be totally honest. But, I mean, back above the 200 SMA, probably targeting back towards like 199, 200, I would assume. Good names. Long-term names are fine. I'm pleasantly surprised about CRM as well. Like, you got below the 200 SMA, found that little bottom that you had from the other day. As you can see here, this goes back into like December, like, 16th. Push it back up. CRM is still a beast. Ever since earnings, just keeps on and keeping on. So you love that as well. Do love that. Yeah, you're really curious what's going to happen here. Because if this starts rolling here, which totally could. You could roll all the way back down to like 25.93, basically. But you start rolling here, it's not going to be pretty, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. You start getting trapped underneath this. It's not what you want to see. You start coming all the way back down to opening range. You could finish the day back in your opening range. Maybe even opening range low. I don't want to jump to like that conclusion, but totally possible. Ugly. That would be really ugly. You don't want to see that, but yeah. Choppy day. So I wouldn't say it's really weird. So I wouldn't say it's a choppy day. I wouldn't say that. It's just, I don't think it's like a preferred day, like to trade for me. Like, I didn't do a lot today, to be totally honest. Yeah, I really did nothing. So, yeah, but I mean, like overall, if you go like to the 15-minute here, you can really see, I mean, from market open right here, I mean, you moved up. And like, I was talking about in Discord, like these 15-minute wicks you were getting here off of VWAP are clean, so nice. Like, that is what you wanted to see, you know what I mean? That was really nice. So, I can't like complain about that. But for me, what like kills me is like how I trade, like, and how I kind of have an edge with NASDAQ and understand what's going on is, yes, I watch my levels and what's happening there. Like 100% I watch my levels, right? But like, I'm really big in like mentioning and following what's going on with like the top moving names, Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, AVGO, because if those names are trending, like if you're getting Nvidia and Apple moving in the same direction intraday, like, I don't want to say like you have to or it's a guarantee because nothing's guaranteed, but like it's a high % chance that NASDAQ will follow because those are like your largest, like that makes up almost like 20, not 20%, like 17% give or take of like QQQ and NASDAQ, right? They're large holdings. So, you know, those definitely impact how you're moving as a whole, right? And so Nvidia, like this morning, I was like, man, you look really good. And then obviously the news came out with H200s and like volume died down. I just covered that. We went into detail. But, you know, when I start to see that type of action, I'm like, I don't really love this. And I don't really like how Nvidia is moving here, just rejecting at 190.3. I just don't love it. Like, and then you still have the NASDAQ kind of trending the upside. So the market wants to break up. It wants to look good, but then you're just not getting it. And so it's just like, you know, I don't know. I like to be confident in what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I like to be confident, have an understanding. We need Nvidia to go to 200. I don't know if you're going to get it with news coming out. So yeah, Google doing well today. Google's doing really good. Don't get me wrong. Google's doing phenomenal. It really is. It's probably going to break out. It does look really strong. I'm not denying that at all. But like the fact that Google has been doing this to where you push up into like 322, like which I wouldn't have even, I mean, maybe this is a level. I don't know. It's kind of ugly. I wouldn't really consider it, but maybe it is. Whatever. I don't know. Sure. Okay. You're breaking into this and then you just nuke. Like you've gap up, market open, and nuke. Gap up here, drop down. Gap up here, nuke. I'm like, what is happening? You think this wasn't a gap? So I was just like, oh, it was like market open, like 8:30. Yeah, gap up and drop down. Like, and so today, I mean, at least you're holding up there. It looks really good, trying to break out. I think Google's a phenomenal name. They're doing really good. Everything with AI and what they're doing with Gemini and their data centers and they're lowering costs and they definitely have an edge. But it's just like, dude, like, what is this action? You know what I mean? You're not in a position too. The problem that like mentally I'm facing with trading recently is, I wouldn't even say the problem. It's more of like, as far as taking a lot of trades. And if you're in Discord, you've definitely noticed, like, I think trade volume for me specifically has probably slowed down, even from Jay, I think. But, you know, for me, like I think I said in yesterday's video, it's like my mentality is like, dude, like I feel very confident, right? And so this, you know, it took a long time to get away from like, okay, I need to make money now. I need to do this every day. I need to make X amount. I need to do X, Y, and Z if I'm going to be successful. Like, it took a long time to get away from that and start looking at like, okay, like where's the opportunities and like, how do I capitalize off those? And so for me, looking at the opportunities, you know, I personally think, sorry, I'm going back to NQ. I'm just curious where you're at. And so for me, like one of the big things personally that like, you know, is I will kind of look at I will look at fundamentals and then I'll look at like, okay, well, X, Y, and Z are happening, or like you're getting a big catalyst potentially. And it's like, okay, this is the time to get aggressive. And so for me, I think that time is coming going into May. That's my personal opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Like maybe I'm wrong, but I think going into May, I think we're going to be sitting in a really good position, personally. And so like my position has been to like take high quality setups, obviously aiming to win as always, but like taking higher quality setups and not really pushing my risk on intraday scalps and setups like that. It's more of like keeping a little bit back, being more conservative reserve as I get into April and May. And that's when I'm gonna start pushing heavy chips in. You know, I'm still buying stock. And like I said last night, right? You know, going back to the drawing of like the visual of like what I'm doing, and don't get me wrong, it's ugly as shit. Where's it at? Right here. Like, you know, if you guys didn't watch the video last night, but like just having an understanding of like mentally why is that erasing like that? What the hell? That's terrible. What is going on? Don't like that. Should we just make a new one? Yeah, I'm making a new one. This is terrible. Yay! My NASDAQ position made some money. Yay! Probably done for the day after that, to be honest. Just taking trades I didn't even want to take. Okay, cool. Well, that was an easy circle. I don't know if you guys watched that video from me the other day. That circle was so brutal to make on here. Don't ask me why. Okay. So this is like, let's say this is like my portfolio. And I like to give you guys real examples of like what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. So you guys, I think sometimes I do like think that like social media like paints this like unrealistic reality. And I don't ever try to like push like an agenda of like, Tyler has Lambos, and you know I fuck my wife on my penthouse balcony as I put diamond chains on my son, right? Like I like to have like realistic like realistic stuff. I know Jay's probably watching like, dude, that sounds badass, Tyler, I'm not gonna lie, right? So like let's say like this is like my normal portfolio of like how I'm looking to trade, right? So I'm gonna put options as OP. Not talking about One Piece, right? And then you have futures. So we'll do FT. So that's my futures. So 25% maybe of my money comes from futures, 25% from short-term options. And then I have stock, which is ST. And then I have leaps, which is LP. Okay. And so this is probably, I'm giving you like a representation of like, this is how I like, not diversify, but how I kind of split up like what I'm doing with money. Okay. And really options might even be like 20%. It might be less. I don't know. Just depends. The environment of the market, right? Now, this is like in a perfect world how I look at things, right? But as of recently, this has changed. See how the race is perfect right now, right? This has definitely changed, okay? And it's all because of this, my viewpoint. That's all it really is. It's like my viewpoint of where the market is, how we're going to move, going forward, et cetera, right? And where I see opportunities. And I think people have to do this for themselves, and we just don't want to do that, right? So going back into this. So instead of that, it's really more, let's move this a little bit more. So it's like 40%, okay? So 40% here now is maybe options and futures, okay? It's really like 30%. It's not a lot, okay? So futures and options, like short-term trading, okay? Okay? I am not the best at drawing. Okay, I can agree. Okay? The rest is stock and then and leaps. The rest. That's it. That's how I'm allocating my money. Now, granted, all my cash isn't here yet. It's not there yet. But that's how I'm viewing everything. I want to keep as much cash on hand to continue getting into stock cheaper, leaps cheaper if possible. I've said this on repeat. Okay? And it's important to understand this, like just from a visual understanding. And like, some of you guys, like, I get it. You want to get rich quick and you want to do this and that. Well, whatever. Like, do whatever you want to do. I wish you the best of luck. I hope you make a lot of money. I really do. But from personal experience, and if you follow the channel from last year into this year, I think you would have to agree. You make more money on long-term positions. Like, even if it's a 6-month position, like, which isn't really that long term, but still, like, the more time you're in a position, in my personal opinion, the more money you're probably going to make. Okay? And this is contrary to what everyone else out there says. I know. Okay? But, like, that's the visual. And also, you think about the more time you're in that position, probably the less stress you're going to have to experience because you don't have a time limit. You're not going to get liquidated. You don't have unless you're going crazy on margin, which salute, brother. Yeah. So like, that's important to think about. And like, you know, if I keep bringing it back up, but like if you guys were with me in last year in May, right? You know, I said it on repeat. I was like, guys, look, I never tell you guys what to buy, but I'm telling you right now, if you're buying Nvidia around $110 to $108 on leaps, you can't go wrong. You can't. You just can't go wrong, right? There was no stress about it. And like, granted, that's Nvidia, and I get what was a very simple and easy trade, but like, it is what it is. And granted, this was a straight line up. There wasn't too much to think about, but still. So when you get these opportunities, that's just how my mind is working right now. And I don't want to go into all the risk associated with the market right now and things that are happening, but yeah, I don't know. My wife must have opened the front door, but anyways, boring stuff. So yeah. Okay. I think we need to make a video for Twitter here in a second. I'm probably about to hop off. How long have we been live? How long have we been live for? I don't even know. How long have we been live? Let's go to, it doesn't even, 45 minutes. I'll probably be live for like 15 more minutes. If you have any questions, make sure you ask. Make sure you ask. Like, that was clean. That was a really simple trade though. Just trade level to level. That's all you did. You broke below 25.47. You went straight down into 25.29. Little swing high there. It's nice. Big Google Hive day. I like Google a lot. I will say Mag 7 names right now. I wish you were lower on Google, to be honest, but I think Google has room. Like, I think this could get into 400 pretty quick into the year, to be totally honest. Thoughts on selling puts before earnings? I mean, it's up to you. Like, do whatever you. I don't know. Like, I don't sell puts or sell calls, to be honest. I don't like. I want to make this like clear. Like, when I have a longer term position or shares or anything, like shares, options, leaps, whatever, I don't want to think about it. I don't like to look at it. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to look at how much I'm up, how much I'm down. I will look at the chart and I'll have like an alert set at specific levels. Like, hey, I need to go look at this. But like, I don't want to, micromanage. I'm basically micromanaging myself at that point. You know what I mean? And you have to think about it from that lens of that's really what you're doing, because you go into it with confidence, like, hey, I like this, this, and this. And then you go back into the trade and you're like, well, I do like that. But on the other side, we're up a lot and I don't really want to follow what I was doing. And you have to think about like, that's what's going on. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're like, let's say you're 100% exposed to the market, all of your cash is deployed, then probably like keep an eye on it, but it's a fine line. How do you feel about uranium spot plays? I know the United States announced those, the new investments. But yeah, I'm not really super interested in uranium plays. They're doing good. They're doing really good, but I don't want to jump in while you're going up. I want to wait. I'd rather wait. What's my number one high risk, high reward pick for the year? That's a good question, actually. So I'll go over a few of them. Top plays, high risk, high reward. I think Zed is really interesting. I haven't bought in. Path, I mentioned this in Discord a few weeks ago. It's doing really good now, almost $18. Looks really good. I don't think these are super high risk, but I think they're interesting. They're cheaper names, so yeah. High risk, high reward, though. I think Nebius is one of the best high risk, high reward plays out there, in my personal opinion. Above $100, I think it looks really good. I think this can get into $200 this year, personal opinion. I'm a really big fan. I think VRT, not super high risk, but still like it a lot. Yeah, really interesting. I like those a lot. GEV, another energy play, really good as well. Now, the biggest high risk, high reward, meaning you can make a lot of money, you could lose all your money. It's Oracle, 100%. It's Oracle, 110,000, 1,000,000%. It's Oracle. It is the best. It's just, if you look at metric of high risk, high reward, that's what it is. Because I think there's a world in which Oracle can get back into 260 in no time at all. Yeah. So, but to answer your question, high risk, high reward, that's the biggest one for sure. BM&R best option. I wouldn't buy any BM&R option contracts for myself right now. It makes no sense. Had Nebius calls going into the new year. Nebius is to be. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Leaps. Bold move, Cotton. Bold move. But yeah. Why does the market just defy all the global uncertainty? I'm no expert, but I know geopolitical stuff going on that would tank the markets not so long ago. Because I'm telling you why. So again, I know. Look, hey, I know we don't like to listen to Tyler sometimes. I know. This right here. This is why. This is why the market is. To answer your question, okay. To answer your question, this is exactly why. I cover it. I make sure to cover it in almost every video now, so people can't say I didn't say it. This right here is exactly why the market is so bullish. Because there's no fundamental reason, specifically with stocks, to be bearish. There's no reason right now to be bearish. Zero, zilch, none, nada, no. Now, if, tariffs get blocked and they're, deemed illegal and Trump maybe loses midterms and, Democrats, impeach him, we have some issues, maybe with the Fed meeting, things like that. But all things considered, looking at the market, looking at equities, they're all making more money than ever. They are. So, why should a stock go up? Well, if a company's making more money than they've ever made, and they're projecting additional accelerated growth, from a logical standpoint, there's no real question about why the market's going up. Now, I agree. Could there be a bubble? There could. But as long as your Mag 7, because again, what do we have to do? I think some people forget. We really do forget. The market, this and that. Again, this is your holdings. So if you go look at, this is QQQ, you can look at SPY in a second, but QQQ, Nvidia, basically 70% of NASDAQ is Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, AVGO, Amazon, Google, Class A and B, I guess, and then Tesla, Meta, PLCR, Netflix. Okay, so just those names right there, excluding Costco, AMD, Micron, Cisco. So basically 60% of the entire market is basically Mag 7 names with the addition of Palantir, which they're arguing should be a Mag 7 name. But all of these names right here, every single one of these names fall into the category of what I said, making more money than ever, accelerated growth expectations, and companies are basically just dumping more money investing into them as well. Why should that go down? And that's not me being sarcastic. That's me asking maybe a rhetorical question, or I'm open to hearing why it should go down. I'm open to hearing it. But I'm just saying the facts of I don't know. If someone told me hey, this company is going to make more money than it's ever made, its Q3 outperformed Q4 of last year, which never happens. That hasn't happened in years. And their Q4 is probably going to destroy and have the best earnings we've ever seen. And Mag 7 names are also reinvesting into AI and growth more than they've ever reinvested. I would be well, yeah, that should be going up. If you showed me that chart was going down, I'd be oh, I should probably hammer. So yeah. Had a discussion with Gemini regarding full integration, robot working force, choose 2032. What would be your 10x play regarding robot narrative? $10x for I think you're trying to get me to just a mid cap or a small cap name. I'm assuming that's what you're trying to get me to go at. But I think people also bullish on Texans versus Steelers. I think Texans beat the Steelers. I think Texans defense is too much for the Steelers to handle. So it's a good question. So what's my 10x play for that? But my answer, you're not going to like it. You're just not. So if by 2032 there's this idea, and it's totally feasible and possible with where we're at now, and fast forwarding maybe 5 years, 6 years, okay. But if we're at that point to where robots are in mass production and working and this and that and replacing workers, why would I bet? This is, again, just making a fair point. Why would I take on more risk to say, okay, I want to go after the 10x play and finding the no-name robotics play that's like $10 and maybe I'll 10x my money. Or I could park my money in the companies that will definitely benefit from that, which is primarily Amazon. That's the top dog, right? Amazon with robotics and replacing workers is going to be, I think Amazon's grossly undervalued. It's finally having a good run here. But like, you know, Amazon's going to be a beast. And in 6 years, I think you could 3 to 4x. I think that's conservative. If real breakthrough, and Amazon's still growing rapidly. So it's like, why would I take on more risk? And I get that I'm leaving 7x potential out there, but think about the risk. Think about how much risk you're taking by buying Amazon with the mentality of I'm holding this for 6 years or 5 years or 4 years. If someone had a gun to my head and said, do you think you're going to lose money on Amazon if holding it for 4 years? I'd be like, I think I double my money at least once in that time period. I would say there's no, I just don't think there's any way that we just, unless you just have a full market crash. So yeah. On the companies making profit, aren't they circle jerking the same amount over and over? Again, so that's a great conversation question. You might have that happening to where, like, you know, Nebius or CoreWeave is borrowing money for Nvidia and then paying Nvidia for products and then selling Nvidia. Yeah, right. Selling their product. You might have some companies doing that, but the idea that the Mag 7 names aren't doing that. That's very important to comprehend. Like Nvidia, Amazon, Meta, Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, Google. Google's directly working in competition basically against Nvidia, right? Getting their own TPUs and shit. Meta is using products from Nvidia and now going from Google. They're not borrowing money from them. It's also worth mentioning, again, looking at these names, I recommend going and looking at how much cash on hand they have. So let's say AI blows up. And we've already seen this example from Meta. So Meta had their AI labs, and Meta was constantly a dog. Everyone's like, this is a dog, this is shit, this is terrible. You know, this is terrible, right? This is not the future, the metaverse, right? Well, Meta said, we're scrapping it. We're going to take the few $1 billion loss, 20 billion, 10 billion, whatever it was. We're going to take the loss, and we were losing 5 billion a year off of it. We'll just take it, whatever, who cares? And then Meta, what does Meta do from that point on? What does Meta do? They take the loss, they have plenty of cash on hand, and then the stock basically goes, pew, 7x. You know what I mean? So you need to also understand, so people are saying this, but when we look at this, the real factors of the economy and market of like, okay, this is the dot-com bubble. All these companies have plenty of cash to, like, if something goes bad, that they're not going to go under. Like, you know what I mean? And then another really important thing to think about, again, is going into May. Like, you're gonna be able to refinance a lot of debt going into the end of the year. So yeah. Take a few last questions, guys, and then I'm out of here. I appreciate it as always, but I'll be out of here in a few seconds. "100 years, I won't invest." You mean you won't be alive? Yeah, I think you meant you won't be alive. BMNR strikes, do you like any? I don't trade a BMNR options. No, there's no point. I'd rather go on like a gambling website and just go to roulette and put it on black or red, to be honest. It's stupid. There's no point. There's more risk than probably reward unless you like strike gold. Are you bullish on healthcare? I'd be careful on healthcare. I think long term you're fine, but I think short term there could be some issues with Trump. So yeah. Video out tonight? Yeah. Should be. I hope so. Alright guys, I gotta make a video for Twitter, but I'm basically done for right now. I've been looking at to add to the portfolio. Do you think it's a good time to hold cash and be patient? I think like I think when it comes to buying stock, you got to go into it with the mentality of like, I'm just buying. Like, right now, don't get me wrong. Do I like to have cash on hand for a potential big drop? Yes. Okay. But going into it with the mentality of like, I'm going to time the bottom or the top, it's a dangerous thing because you're probably not going to, right? You know what I mean? Like you're probably not going to. You know, I've been buying. I've mentioned it here. Obviously, Discord, you guys see it all, like what I've been buying stock wise. And you know, it's not sexy. Like it's not. Like people are like, oh, well, Nebius is only at $100. I'm like, well, dude, like I bought stock. I don't think Nebius is gonna double on my stock in a week. Like, you know, yeah, I don't really know what else to say. But like, yeah, just positioning yourself. Like even Nvidia, the leaps are up. They're really nice. Don't get me wrong, but like I think Nvidia gets back over 195 back towards all-time highs. Like that's where I'm gonna make my money. You know, Microsoft, like we bought leaps down here and like we're still holding in this range and it's annoying, but where you're gonna make your money is back above 492, 495, going back into 525, right? That's when you start making, and then obviously back into even highs and breaking out. So that's kind of how my mentality's been. Hey, Steven, I appreciate it, man. Any donations, anything like that, I appreciate it, guys. I might start doing the lives. I'm debating. I don't know. I might start doing the lives middle of the day, and then I'll do, or maybe morning. I don't know yet. And then one video at night, like 5, 6 o'clock. We'll see how it works out. I don't really know right now. I'm kind of like up in the air. I'm a little like YouTube. I'm not gonna lie. After they started flagging my account and like potentially getting banned, I'm not going to say that I'm over YouTube, but it made me rethink things, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I will say one thing that I haven't been doing is I haven't been posting on my second channel for education, and I'm going to get back in the swing of that. I promise I'm going to get back into it. And honestly, like this might be for the best that like I slow down on posting maybe 2 times a day on YouTube, do more videos on Twitter because they're, you know, short, sweet, to the point. And I can get back into posting education, you know? So yeah, dude, you guys keep posting. Appreciate the donation. Appreciate it. Yeah, Palantir. So yeah, you're getting pretty clean action. I think I posted it today in Discord, didn't I? Did I? One sec. I'm looking for the post. Did I? Maybe I didn't. I know I talked about it in voice chat a handful of times, but at least I didn't tag the name Palantir, so I can't search it. But yeah, so Palantir, you held your 100 MA down here, right? Went down to 169. That was awesome. Don't get me wrong, but you got back above. You can go there 5 minute. You can see. So yesterday you actually mounted it. This is Tuesday, and then this morning you dipped down back in like a little zone and you pop right back up. Once you got above 180, it was clean. You had room to like 189, 188. Kind of stalled here at 187, but it looks pretty solid. If you get back above like 189, you look really good. Why are they banning you? It's their AI moderation. I don't really know, to be honest. It's weird. I don't know. Saw a comment also talking about a 5 to 10% pullback typically in April, May time. Do you see that? Maybe. I mean, I don't like looking to the future of like, okay, this is going to happen tomorrow or the next day or the next day. You know what I mean? It's like I'm telling you right now, how I trade is purely just reacting to the levels. Like, I know you, I promise there's no like secret like sauce or like potion I take that lets me see the future. I wish I had that potion. I've been on this hunt for it, but you know, you're just reacting. So like right now, what I'm going to be looking at today is your daily close. Can you hold above 25.95? How do you react there? You know, ES, where do you close here? Do you get above 77,011? How do you look? If you hold above that, I'm probably looking for continuation. You look really good at all-time highs. So I'm not looking at a 10 to 15% pullback in 3 months. You know what I mean? That just doesn't make any sense because like that's not really my problem right now. Now I can prepare myself for that, but there's no reason for me to act on that right now. You know, that's how my mind kind of rationalizes and thinks. But anyways, if you do lives, then delete them after they won't be flagged by bots and trolls. I don't know if I'm gonna. I don't know what I'm gonna do. If I'm not gonna do, I don't think I'm gonna delete them because people want to see them. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't think too far ahead sometimes. But yeah, I will say though, like this is bad, but YouTube is like officially like not my main concern anymore at all. I used to like I used to hyper focus on like growth of YouTube. Hey Tyler, do you see a bottom forming on $30 for BM&R? Do you see a further pullback? It doesn't you're watching the wrong thing. You're watching the entire wrong thing. So if you're charting BM&R, like, look at the chart, but like if crypto keeps pulling back, BM&R is gonna pull back. It's also worth mentioning Ethereum's not even at lows of like 27.5, and fucking BM&R is pretty. I mean, it's not there yet, but it doesn't look that good. So I don't know. Below 200 SMA is not great either. I mean, support's here at like 30.2, but it just follows crypto. So like the chart matters, but it's also the other point. Like this support could be awesome, but like if Ethereum dips, it's gonna follow Ethereum down. So you're just wasting your time. That's what I'm saying. Like buying BM&R, MicroStrategy, Coinbase, like you're doing yourself a disservice by looking at the chart to a large point. Like maybe understand where some key levels are, but it's gonna follow crypto more than anything. You know what I mean? Like BM&R doesn't have a mind of its own. Like it's not, if Nasdaq could go up 1,000 points in a day, but if Ethereum goes down, BM&R is gonna go down 9 out of 10 times. So anyways, appreciate it guys. Have a good one. See you guys later tonight in the video. Have a good one, boys.